Malta is really beautiful and people over there are very very nice and supportive. I did an ATV tour over there, but the another highlight was visiting the Popeye Village. So whole place like felt like a movie and it was really a great experience.
You're watching Trip 101 Travel Talk series where passionate explorers share untold stories from around the globe. I'm Ananya, your host for today, and joining me is Veshali, a travel enthusiast who's journeyed through 21 countries and is slowly planning to tick off many more. In this episode, we dive into the sun-soaked Mediterranean charm of Malta. We'll be covering historic towns, ATV rides on Gozo Island, and even a nostalgic stop at Popeye Village. Get ready for hidden gems, travel tips, and a whole lot of inspiration. Let's get started.
Thank you so much for scheduling this interview and I'm really looking forward to this. Very excited.
Okay, so before we go down into discussing the destination which we are focusing on today, which is Malta, I want to know Vishali a little bit more. So, would you mind if I ask you a few quick questions and you tell me about yourself as a traveler first?
Yeah. So my name is Vishali and I'm based in India and currently I'm living in Europe. I'm very passionate about exploring the world, the different city, people, cultures. And so far I've explored 21 countries and I think with many more to go in the future. And I'm very passionate about sharing my travel experience. And I also offer the recommendations like what could be the itinerary, how you can travel, what are the places that you can see here and there, and the travel guides. So yeah, I love to do that. I post so many videos on my YouTube channel as well, the World of Vishali, and my Instagram, World of Vishali, and she is the world travel guide.
How are you as a traveler? Like, are you a foodie or are you a history buff or do you like beaches? What's your like go-to travel sort of kind?
Actually, it depends, but I don't like to go to the place where I have been already again and again. I don't know why. I love to explore new places every time. Foodie, yes, I am, but like I'm a vegetarian, so if I travel to another countries in the world, then my options are very limited. But I love to try the local traditional snacks and more cuisines, but I love Indian food. Like honestly, wherever I go, like anywhere in the world, I need at least one meal of Indian food because I cannot live without Indian food. And I always like find like Indian restaurants in the country, like different countries. Yeah, so but I love to try the vegetarian and the traditional snacks that I can eat.
Okay. So, of the 21 countries that you have visited, which one is your favorite or which one would you go back to? Like, I know you don't like going back to countries, but which is that one country for which you will break this rule?
Greece, I would love to go there, Spain and Hungary. Malta is one of them. Yeah, if I go to the Greece again, then I would not go to Santorini, Mykonos, and Athens, which I've already visited. Maybe I will visit another islands.
Okay, so you'd like to see more places within the same country.
Yes, but not the same place again and again.
Okay.
Until I'm fan of that city because I'm fan of Mumbai city because I went to 21 countries but I never seen a place like a Mumbai before. Mumbai is like I have a different charm. I can go thousands of times and I love Mumbai.
Okay. All right. About Malta then, what is like, what's special about Malta or why would you recommend other people to visit Malta?
Actually, Malta is really beautiful, and people over there are very, very nice and supportive. And it's completely a mix of different people from the world, the international culture. That's a really light, and there are so many beaches which I also love. The highlight is the people.
So why did you decide to go to Malta? Like, how did you decide on this destination?
Actually, the main reason was that it's a very smallest island and the country, one of the smallest island and country in the world. So I was very curious to see it. And like I mentioned, I love beaches. And there is a one old town, Medina, which has a very interesting history. That's why I wanted to visit there. And I planned last year in February end.
How many days did you spend in total in Malta?
My trip was about like 6 to 7 days over there.
Okay. And what did you do during this time that you were in Malta? What were the highlights of your 6, 7 days that you spent in Malta?
So the highlight of the trip was the Gozo Island. You have to travel over there. You have to take a boat from the Malta. It's in Malta actually, and I did an ATV tour over there, which was really fun. But the another highlight was visiting the Popeye Village. You must heard about the Popeye Village, the movie. So I took a tour of the village because that set has now converted into the tourist attraction, which is organizing the different activities. And there also you can see the film, like how they made the Popeye movie there, and even you can took part in some fun activities. So whole place like felt like a movie, and it was really a great experience in Gozo and in the Popeye village.
What was the ATV tour like?
Yeah, so like Gozo Island is again a very small island that you can cover in a one day. Like if you just want to take a car or a bike. So ATV, I love ATV because I did ATV tours before as well in Dubai and in Thailand in Chiang Mai. So it's a really like a lot of fun. So I wanted to explore the whole island. So we took a ATV on a rent and we went to explore the Gozo Island in a one day. And in the evening we came back to the Malta by boat.
Oh, so you were exploring the island itself on an ATV?
Yes, but one day I would say not enough. But as per my like 6 days, I wanted to explore other countries as well. That's why I did not spend much time in Gozo. But I would definitely recommend to stay over there at least for 2 days, to book a hotel and hire a car, ATV, or a bike, and just explore the hidden gems as well. Because I missed some of the hidden gems over there. And in February, and when we went over there, because of the weather restrictions as well, some things were not working. So yeah, so if you are going in the summer in a peak season, then definitely there are like more activities to do in Gozo.
Oh, okay. You must tell me about the hidden gems that you did manage to explore it on Gozo.
So like when we were in Gozo, if I talk about the activity, I did a boat tour, and boat tour is very common. You do like in so many countries, and I did also, but it was very scary over there because the big waves were coming so close to us, and boat was really shaking a lot. It felt like a do or die situation, and yeah, the experience was totally like different and much more extreme. But because I love adventure, like initially I was like, okay, it's a like a normal boat tour, but later I was like so scared, but it was very exciting and memorable for me. And if I talk about the hidden gems in Malta, actually they are not hidden gem, they are very well known tourist spot, Dingley Cliff and Blue Grotto, which is very very scenic, and the view from the Dingley Cliff and Blue Grotto is really nice. You can even see a very good sunset from the Dingley Cliff, and you can also take a boat tour, I think, in Blue Grotto, which I have not done because that time the boat tour was not operational in February. And but I definitely recommend both places during the trip. It's completely, I can say, hidden gem, more close to nature and very nature scenic points.
So when you flew into Malta, right, from Germany, did you?
Yeah, I traveled from Germany.
Okay, and where did you land in Malta first? Like, was your like a day trip that you took, right?
Yeah, so there is like one airport in the Malta. There I landed. I took a Ryan Air. Ryan, if you want to travel in most of the European countries, I would recommend to book a flight from Ryanair. It's very cheaper, like compared to other country. But Ryanair does not go to all the countries of Europe, but you can check. But Malta is one of them that you can book by Ryan.
Okay, okay. So the rest of the time, like apart from Gozo Island and Popeye Island, you were mostly in Malta itself, like the main. Uh,
Gozo, we went just for a one day. In morning, we went over there, and in the evening, we came back. So there is a sharing boat, boat as well that you can took, or a private boat you can take.
hmm. So definitely, like for people who are looking for adventure, they can go to Malta in before the summer starts, or like it, and they
Yeah,
can get some thrills
yeah,
by just taking a boat tour.
yeah. The people over there, they recommend to come in month of August or September. They said that's a very good month to visit Malta, August and September also.
Hmm. Okay. So based on your trip, like the things that you were able to see, which places or which spots would you definitely recommend other travelers to?
So first is definitely Gozo Island, and second is Popeye Village. The third is Medina. If you are like very keen to know about the history, then Medina town is really interesting. And the another thing is gun firing event that you should definitely not miss, because generally when you visit the country you don't see the gun firing event, but this is the live which happen twice a day at 12 p.m. and 4 p.m. in Valletta. And if you love the seafood, you're foodie, then I think the Marsak's Lok, I think I'm pronouncing it right, that village you can visit. It has a fresh seafood over there and it's very famous.
Oh, okay. What was your experience like in Medina? Like you mentioned that that was one of the reasons that you wanted to visit.
Yeah, so there it has a like a detailed history, but there are like now few of the people are living in Medina. Most of them have shifted to Valletta, and there was also a earthquake, and like earlier it was like a lot of things destroyed in Medina. But yeah, a lot of things to know over there.
Okay, but was it like a pretty place to explore?
Yes, they're like very small streets and very good restaurants with the Malta city view, and also you can take a ride and explore that small city of Medina. It's a very small, very walkable, and if you take a tour guide, then they can tell you the history more in details for the each and every corner.
Oh, okay. Yeah, makes sense to actually take a tour, like go with a guide and explore this really old city. I think it has
Ye-
also been used as a filming destination for many like historical type shows
Yes,
and all. Yeah.
yes.
So, Vishali, I want to know like about your stay in Malta as well. Were you staying at a hotel?
Yeah, I was staying at hotel. Actually, like people like stay in Valletta, Slima. There are like many cities.
Hmm.
I will say cities. It's a very small places. But I prefer to stay in Saint Julian area near the Spinola Bay because Saint Julian is known for its party vibe. And if you are like party people and want to experience a nightlife of Malta, then this place is like amazing. And it was a fun place to stay there because there was always something happening in the morning, evening, afternoon, and there is a small beach as well. So I think this is like a very good place to stay. Otherwise the Slima is also good, more shopping area over there. And Valletta is like again is similar to Medina, very small streets. It's more like similar to Greece. There are a lot of stairs, so maybe you have to walk a lot, and that's why I did not prefer Valletta, because it was like similar to other European countries, but I wanted to stay at the different place that looks different and vibe is different, so that's why I chose St. Julian.
Oh, so St. Julian is like the happening place. It's the happening city of Malta.
So it's a go of Malta.
So, were you staying at a hotel there or in an Airbnb type
I
of
was
accommodation?
staying in a hotel that was St. Julian Bay Hotel. The name is
Okay.
St. Julian Bay Hotel. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. Very easy to remember.
Yeah.
So, what was this hotel like? Like, did you enjoy your stay over there?
Yeah, because this hotel had a very good view of the bay and also the ocean. And there was a famous church in St. Julian. The hotel is just along the way and it has a balcony as well. And when you sit over there, you can have a very beautiful view. And I clicked a lot of pictures and videos. Yeah.
So, you got a good stay, you got a good neighborhood, and then you got amazing views of both the bay and the church from your hotel. I think, yeah, that's a pretty good deal that you got.
Yeah, and the ocean as well on the
Hmm.
left.
Yeah. Did you also have meals over there at the hotel, St. Julian Bay?
Breakfast was included. I would not rate 5 out of 5, maybe 3.5 or something, because every day there was a repeated breakfast, not different. That's why. But otherwise, taste wise and the varieties was okay. But they were repeating the same thing every day.
Okay. So while you were based in St. Julian, how easy or difficult was it to go around in Malta? Like if you wanted to like visit other cities, if you could walk to like within St. Julian, or what about other places? Like were you taking cabs or how were you going around?
So in Malta, everything is close to each other. It's not that far. I think in one day you can cover the whole country. It's that
Oh,
much small. And the public transport is very convenient, like buses, and they're cheaper too. It costs around 3 euros. For example, if you want to go to from St. Julian to Valletta and from Valletta to Selima, so it's I think cost around 2 to 3 euros. But the disadvantage is that in the peak season it can be overcrowded and take a very long time to reach the destination because there are so many stops when you go by a bus. So at my time I took cabs. That was the best option and more convenient and comfortable. And the one thing that I really liked during my cab journey, we met a lot of drivers and they were really nice and they were sharing their experiences. and like each and every driver was from the different country, and definitely for Malta as well. So they give a lot of details about Malta. We learned a lot from them, and we even became friends with some of them. So that was really interesting experience. But another way, if you want to drive a car, then you can rent it, or you can take ATV. I'm not sure if it is possible for all the areas, but maybe a bike if you want to explore the island on your own and visit the hidden gems. And the advantage is that you can visit anytime whenever you want. Just take your car and bike and just go. And there, like in peak season, there could be a traffic as well. So that's why we did not prefer to rent a car or a bike. So that's why we took cabs. It was convenient, a bit expensive, but it was not that over budget.
So for the cabs, were you using local cabs or did you use like an app?
I used Uber.
Okay, Uber was working perfectly in,
Yes, it was perfect. They were coming on time. There was no delay. So experience was really good with the Uber.
and you got to learn from the driver. So I think that's a bonus.
Yes, yes. We made a lot of friends like during our cab journeys because they
Uh,
shared a lot of things like their past experiences, how they came to Malta, and how is the Malta, how Malta has turned their life into the luxury life. Like this is the thing they were like the local thing they were sharing with me.
Oh, how nice. Vishali, I now want to know about your food experiences. You mentioned you're a vegetarian, and that's something that's, like a lot of people who are vegetarian have inhibitions about exploring these smaller destinations that they won't find any food. So, how was your food journey in Malta?
In Malta, like I mentioned, I always love to try different cuisine if it is vegetarian. So in vegetarian, mostly I get snacks. So in Malta, I tried the pastizzi, which is actually traditional Maltese snacks, and it was like a pastry stuff with the ricotta, sometimes with spinach, peas, or a meat you can choose, and they were
Hmm.
really yummy. And it reminded me of the crunchy puffs that we used to have in the childhood days. You must have tried the Indian puffs. That, and I also love the Maltese bread from the local bakeries. But if someone is non-vegetarian and they want to try the Maltese food, then the seafood is really amazing. For example, the lampuki, rabbit stew, bragioli. So these all are like very famous in Malta that you should try if you're non-vegetarian. And for the seafood, the Marsax Lock village is really nice. And yes, like I mentioned, I always eat Indian food every day, like at least one meal when I travel. So in Malta, I found the Tuk Tuk Indian kitchen over there in San Julian. They have the branches in other cities of Malta as well. And the food was really amazing, a lot of varieties, and the innovation that they did with the Indian food was really great. But I would also recommend, if you want to try Indian food, must try their gulab jamun with ice cream. It's a normal that you can get in India, but the taste wise, it was really exceptional.
Okay. So that's pretty great that you found like a restaurant that you liked in Malta, the Indian restaurant, right?
Yes, it was Indian restaurant. I don't know who owns it. It is a Maltese person, but it's completely Indian kitchen.
Okay, what would you say are things that people visiting Malta, like travelers who are visiting Malta, should know about? Like, what would your tips or suggestions be for them?
So I saw like many of videos, like even personally, like when people go to the European countries. If I talk about the European countries, there is a communication problem, especially in English. But in Malta, like it's a mixture of international people, so everyone speaks English, even Maltese people as well. So there, I did not find a communication problem that I had in another European countries. And one thing to consider in Malta, like the temperature in Malta is very high, and it is very very hot during the summer season. So if you are not a fan of heat, and then it's better to plan during the off season. So I would recommend March or April and August and September months to visit. And another thing in regards to the accessibility, Valletta and Medina having a very narrow street, so there might be a problem like for dragging the luggage, or it's not that wheelchair friendly. So these problems that you can face, but overall everything was okay, and the transport system is quite good, and most tourist attractions are very easy to reach by bus. But definitely it takes a lot of time because it stops at every, if you want to go from for a one route, then it cover 20 stops, 10-20 journey
You have to
by
be
public.
patient.
Yes, yes.
Hmm. What about like money? Like, does Malta use euros or do they have their own currency?
Euro works there.
Okay,
We
and
euros.
okay, and what about like, do you have to make cash payments or is digital transaction also okay? How does that work?
Actually, both works. It's up to you. But in the smaller shops, we did pay the cash, and for example, in the malls and in the bigger restaurants, we paid by the digitally. Most of the restaurant, even you go to the seafood village, they also have the machine, so you do the payment digitally.
Okay.
But it's always better to keep the cash. Sometimes, if they don't have the machine and for the digital transaction, then better to have at least a little bit, 50 or 100 euro cash with you wherever you
Oh,
go. Yeah.
okay. Find Malta to be compared to other European destinations?
No, Malta was very expensive. Hungary was very cheap, Budapest, and Greece was, I think, Ma- I found Malta a bit expensive than Greece. The food was very expensive, even Indian food. The local snack was okay, but like the cabs, food, tour, if you want to hire a transport, private transport, so I found it expensive. But to save a money, maybe in terms of stays, you can go for a shared stays or a hostel. And for a Gozo, if you're going to Gozo, maybe you can choose a shared boat instead of the private ones. And if you want to do a tour in Gozo, then don't go with the agencies. You can hire a ATV or a bike to explore it by yourself. So if you're doing all these things, maybe you can save a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Those are
Yeah.
actually really good suggestions. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you went again to Malta, which maybe you might not, what would you do differently on that trip if you went again?
But I would love to visit Malta again. Like I said, when it just hit, and when I'm in love with the city a lot, then I would love to visit. Otherwise, not. Malta, if I visit again, then I would try to explore more of hidden gem which I missed last time. For example, in Gozo, some of the hidden gems I missed because of the seasonality, and there is also so much to see beyond the main tourist spots. So I would love to take more time to explore that, and definitely I would plan this trip next time. If I would go, then in August or September. That's what the one of the driver, like, he was from Malta, he actually recommended to visit in September month. So
Okay.
that
Like when you went in Feb, is it weather-wise also like not a good time to visit apart from like attractions being shut?
it was good. It was good when I planned the trip, like before 2 3 days when we were going. I checked the weather and it was showing the rain and the windy. So we were scared. Now we cannot cancel the booking. We have to go. But when we visit there, the weather was different. Completely opposite. It was so sunny every day. Only one day when we visit Medina, that day it was a rain like for 1 or 2 hours. And after that, the weather turned very, very nice. So it was, I think, 18 to 19 degrees Celsius. So one a little sweater was working in February end.
Oh,
And the weather was also, we just wore like a very single sweater, and it was very, very sunny as well that day.
oh, okay. Did you bring back any souvenirs from Malta to remember your trip by?
So I always buy magnets, and that's what I bought from the Malta. And I took a lot of pictures as well. I think these photos and memories are my souvenirs from the trip. Because whenever I go to the country, I always spend a lot of money on transportation, especially cabs and hotels, food, and to do the activities. But I don't do that much shopping, because I think that we can get in India, even where you stay. So all that thing. But if something is very unique that you never seen and you cannot find in other countries, or maybe at your home country, then I definitely
Mhm.
love.
Okay. If you had to describe Malta in like, one sentence to convince other people to go, what would you say to them?
I just want to say I love Malta because my experience was really, really, really great. I don't have any negative feedbacks from Malta.
If you had 24 extra hours in Malta, like apart from the 7 days that you already spent over there, if you had one extra day, what would you do on that one extra day if you got?
I think you should absolutely not miss the gunfiring event, because that was my first experience to see live gunfiring event. So that happens in Valletta, like I mentioned, two times, 12 p.m. and 4 p.m. You should definitely sport that when you have 24 hours in Malta. I would say Gozo as well, but that's not possible in 24 hours. Otherwise, you will just explore Gozo only.
It was really great listening to you about talk about your trip, Vishali, and thank you so much for sharing all the details and all these tips and suggestions about when to go, what to avoid, what to include in your trip. I'm pretty sure that our viewers will find all the information that you have shared today really useful. So thank you so much for that.
Yeah, and my pleasure. And it was really nice talking to you. It was very detailed for now. I can remind the things like what exactly I did because it's almost a 1 year. I visited last year in February, and it reminded me all those memories. And good to talk on the Malta trip. And I hope so the other people also visit the Malta country. I give genuine feedback, genuine travel guides even on my YouTube channel, The World of Vishali. The things that I don't like, I don't want to promote. Definitely if someone is promoting and that's not good, I'm doing that, I'm going there and spending a lot of money and I'm getting a bad experience after that, then it's a wastage of money. So I always love to promote and recommend those things which I liked and I had a very good experience into that.
Yeah, and Malta was one of them for sure. So thank you so much for sharing about your trip. With that, we will sign off for today. Bye bye and have a nice day. What an incredible journey Vishali had through Malta. Scenic coastal cliffs and local delicacies, as well as unexpected adventures and cultural insights, surely made her trip check all the boxes. A huge thank you to Vishali for sharing about her trip to this gem of an island and for those fab tips for future travelers. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Trip 101 for more real stories and travel deep dives from around the world. Until next time, keep exploring.